Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you may be. Welcome back to the Rainbow Pitch League, where we are in the final week of Swiss. Week 7, we've made it to the end, and here we have two of the top players at the in the last round. We have Amelia on the left and Ashelin on the right, both of whom are playing No. And of course, we are joined with. Nope, we are joined by Elaine today.
Hey,
Hello, Elaine.
hello. Hello, how are you? It's week
I'm good.
7. I can't believe it.
I
Oh,
know. We made it to
we made it.
this far. Oh my gosh, words. Yeah, no, we made it to week 7. It's been a long grind, but at the same time, it feels like it's just kind of started. So, very
Yeah,
excited to see what we've got going on here.
it's kind of wild. But we could have never made it to week 7 without our sponsors,
Oh, what a
right?
beautiful segue. Yes, of course. So, quick shout out to Andy once again for providing us with the pins and stickers that we'll talk about online in our socials soon enough. We have already in the past. So that's Andy from API Source. We've also got Greg, who's been doing a lot of sound stuff for us. At the start, all of the commercials that we had for the league were produced by Greg, and we have Iswardi. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Um, but our favorite artist, Uncle, as he's kind of become on Twitter, and he's provided us with a super fantastic AP artist proof for those not in the biz. Um, that I'm really excited to share with y'all when we get around to doing all the promotion for our sponsors in post form. So yes, those are our sponsors for week 7, the last week of Swiss, and it looks like our game is starting after we move around some cameras and such. We have very tight board state on the left. Everything's very compressed to make it fit within the camera.
Yes. It looks like that we did have Ashlyn take a point of damage off the beckoning miss blade
Mm-hmm.
from Amelia.
Mm.
Um, yeah. I first thing I'm noticing about this is that we've got different equipment on both sides, even though this is a new mirror, which is a little bit interesting.
Yeah. Um, for the most part, the equipment is kind of what you'd expect, like the um, scary mask. That's not the mask of
Mm-hmm.
recurring nightmares. Is kind of what you'd expect here, and the tunic, but like the choice of leg piece is really interesting here. We have the Black Tech Whisperers on the left, which you can destroy to give your assassin attack go again. And on the right, we have the fancy shoes. They should get me to
The
name the
fancy
cards.
shoes.
The undertow
The undertow
stilettos.
stilettos. Yes, yes. Sorry, I didn't realize we were already playing Fable. That's on the.
um, it's super interesting. That one counts as 2 reactions, as we may have seen before. Oh my goodness, there's a Command and Conquer on the field already. Yes, so there's Command and Conquer coming in for 6 after the first Beckoning Mistblade on the right. Um, this is just gonna get a respectable 2 cards here. Uh, One of the main things I think is the big difference is that on the left we have a spider's bite to go along with the beckoning mistblade. Um, this dual modality of weapons kind of giving you the choice of how you want to try to force your opponent to block, versus on the right where we have 2 beckoning mistblades. That feels like, without knowing too much about the decks and the playstyles, feels like Ashland's gonna go for a more blue heavy kind of uh, deck, I guess, or like focus or emphasize the blue stealth cards a bit more and trigger those multiple reactions, as opposed to like a Spider's Bite where you might be trying to force through something like a Command and Conquer. Like Spider's Bite would have been fantastic for Ashelin in the previous turn, and it looks like we're just going on the beat down here. We've got a looking for a scrap. This is a 1 cost 4 power attack with 2 defense, and when you play it, you may banish a 1 power card from your discard pile, and if you do, this gains +1 and go again. So the first weapon was blocked, and we're now still coming in with attack with go again again. I mean, anyway. And a sink below to prevent 4 of that 5 damage has happened, and it looks like the turn's just ending. So we didn't make use of that go again. It was more just kind of getting that extra point of damage through, which did come through, to be fair. Um, Making the
Yeah,
left.
we did see the 2 card block, so that was just a 2 card hand. Not still sure what's in the arsenal that Amelia protected against that CNC that we didn't see that turn. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. This game, or these heroes, are really interesting in the sense that like most of the cards prevent a non-hit that is kind of relevant and disruptive as assassins are. And a card like I forgot the name of that card already. It was
looking
literally
for a
just in
scrap?
fire. Yeah. And
Which
the
one?
power yeah, looking for a scribe. The power of a
Okay.
card like that is just it applies a lot of damage at an efficient rate, as opposed to these stealth cards that deal 1 by themselves and kind of require other cards to work. Um, so it's a really neat way to kind of push that damage through, which isn't something that these new decks are famous for. Um, but it did just get defended out fairly efficiently with 1 card. Okay.
Yeah. And we've got a Bonds of Agony,
Yes.
putting Amelia in an agonizing position to figure out what to block here.
Mm-hmm.
uh, mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, Bonds of Agony is a torturous card to come up against. All these kind of all these actions that are like if you've done 2 reactions or 3 reactions are quite powerful and also quite frustrating to deal with just because of you don't know how much you want to commit to it, and that's again the beauty of the assassin class is trying to force your opponent to miss block with less information than you have.
Well, that's 3.
Mm-hmm. And we've gone up to 4, and there's still 2 cards in hand. 3 cards if you include the token. Um, Now we didn't get a block with the fancy shoes, as I so eloquently put it at the start of the game, and we see it's being used here. So I'm sure Ashelin would have, if she knew this was the line that she was going for, she would have loved to defend 1 more against that, looking for a scrap that came in for 5. But you know, when these moments come up, you still take them. Oh, and it's hitting
Going to hit. So let's see. We've got an unmovable, a blanche, and
a
is
spreading
that
plague.
a spreading plague?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's got that symbol on the bottom, the blood rot symbol
Oh,
in
right,
the
right.
text
That blood
box.
rat symbol.
I
Yeah, I think
am
that.
lightly choking. 1 second.
Oh, okay. I'll talk. I think the use of the undertow stilettos is a little bit interesting this early in the game, as I like with new mirrors are notorious for being kind of the battle of inches, right? You
Mm-hmm.
give
Mm-hmm.
take a little damage, gain a little damage. You know, it's this very push and pull, give and take, and such small things make a difference in this matchup. It's really who can find that edge. So this is a bit of a tough mirror on both sides, and we're already seeing like it being approached differently just in the equipment like we already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's interesting to miss the block value off of the, or I guess unfortunate to miss the block value off of the undertow stilettos. But then again, Bods of Agony can I mean, it's a really good card.
Yeah,
So it's tough to not give it the 3 reactions when you have it on board.
for sure. I suspect that, like, maybe... Oh, that's a super powerful follow-up here, knowing that there's an
Yeah,
unmovable in hand, and it's... Oh, you can't even play it with the resources available. Um,
yep.
but crucially, this Command and Conquer is going to hit unless equipment is given here. But yes, if without, you know, putting too many words, so to speak, into the opponent's mouths, I have to assume that maybe Ashelin was expecting Amelia to block more on the bonds, and was hoping to just kind of like... Well, I guess she still needed to go again anyway. But perhaps, yes, she was thinking that, yeah, the bonds would get blocked by multiple cards, and then you wouldn't have to actually use as many reactions. Um,
Right.
you just, like, as a way to kind of steal cards or whatever, is my guess. We have a card
Also,
Arsenal, which I believe is the token. Um,
I
also,
think yeah, I think that's the thing strike. I was gonna point out, we didn't say it, but I believe there was two spreading plagues. Um, the one from Han, and I think there was only one more found in the deck off of the banish from Bonds.
oh, of course, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Amelia does play two Spreading Plagues, a very interesting card, especially in this matchup. It's really good with Bonds if your opponent tries to overblock it.
Yeah.
And this is also where we might see the difference between those feet kind of coming into play. Not specifically this turn, of course, but I mean, oh, I take that back. It's getting blocked with right now. Um, but with these Blackjack Whisperers being a repeatable source of A, defending, super critical against these Beckoning Mistblades that don't have piercing, unlike the Spider's Bite, and B, potentially being able to buy it back and getting multiple instances of go again from the leg piece, the leg slot from the equipment, is super powerful, even though it's a bit more niche and doesn't trigger your demand for reactions as much. Being able to do it multiple times is still super, super powerful. So this is an Art of Desire
Actually,
Mind. I think that's the blue one.
yes.
Yep. We're getting the top. Oh,
No,
there is a blue off the top.
no, that's the Desires of Flesh.
Oh, sorry. There's too many
It's,
desires.
I think that's the Desires of Flesh, which looks for attack action cards. Also, we saw that beautiful Marvel Codex pitched the last turn from Ashelin. Couldn't stop staring at it.
Mm. There's a lot of Marvels going on this table. There's, like you said, that Marvel Codex on Ashland's side, and when we looked through Amelia's deck because of the Bonds trigger, I think most, if not all, of the Transcend cards were also Marvels. It's just very pretty to look at.
Yeah, very pretty. And the Marvel new. But right now we're coming in with a Bonds of Agony.
Mm.
Or yes. Wait.
I think you're correct. Based on like the name boxes that I can see, it looks like it has the right number of words and shape.
Like another Bonds.
Mm. And this one has go again naturally as well. Naturally, by the sense of the beckoning Mistblade, and +1. So I believe this is coming in for 2.
And +1.
Amelia is requested to see how many cards are in hand, which is 2. Um, and if Ashelin doesn't overcommit a block here, we could see the arm piece being used once again in a similar position to Ashelin in the previous turn, where an arm piece was used, or equipment piece was used before the defending value, or we can just use a bunch of tokens and then give it go again with the Blackjack Whispers that we can buy back anyway.
Is this triple go again?
No, I think one of those is a hiss. One of the tokens is a hiss. So it's...
Right, but Slither, Black
Oh, right, yes. Okay, I see what you mean.
Slither, Blackjack, and the Beckoning misbladed.
Yeah. This is the
Right.
fastest bonds in the history. Of course, not that the triple go again means anything other than you just have multiple reactions being used this turn, but
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, no, this is very speedy bonds.
Very speedy bonds can go all night. I mean,
Hmm.
well, anyway.
And here we see another Marvel and an Lightning Strike. And a Codex. Oh, bonds hitting is kind of tough if you have the Codex. Is there a reaction I missed?
Yep.
Why is this
Yep.
bonds hitting?
Because why is this bonds hitting? Oh, well, okay. It gets um +4,
Hmm.
so it's at 5. Why is this bonds hitting? +4.
So it gets 3 from itself.
Oh no, yeah, because it gets 3 from itself, so it's 4, 7, 8.
4, 7, 8.
Yep. Yep, because it comes in at 1. It gets +3 from itself, goes to 4. It has +1 from the beckoning mistblade, so it's at 5, and then the hiss gives it +3, so it's at 8.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, you're
Yep.
right. Dang, and we're seeing the 3 codex of frailty going away. But we do know there's a
That
Marvel
is
Codex of
a
Blood Rot. um,
yeah. The Codex of Frailties. That's a good hit though. That feels good.
hmm. And just to be
That's a
cheeky, we're
bonds of
gonna.
attraction.
I see. We're just gonna throw like another cheeky, just stealth card here. It's fine. We're just gonna banish more cards. We're gonna run you out of cards.
The same arsenal from turn 0 from Amelia.
I believe so.
I believe so.
Wait, no, there was a Command and Conquer that hit, and that hit the Fang Strike token. She had an
Oh,
arsenal.
correct, correct.
And
Going to get just a Nick, and I'm looking for something of the same color, but I guess we don't care
no,
about the life game.
she may have been just looking to find more playable cards with the new ability later on.
Yeah, I agree. Because the just the Nick is, I mean, happy to see that gone. I'm sure,
Hmm.
and but it is a red, so there's not banishing reds. It's not very useful for Amelia.
It would be if there was a Codex of Frailty in the deck. Super interesting that the block last turn, I have to assume, was kind of made under the assumption that uh, if you blocked more, then you couldn't play this E strike. But how it ends up costing you multiple of codices, I've been told. It's quite tough to have to deal with. Ashelin does have the 3 life point lead, though, but I feel like Amelia has the tempo currently.
Yeah, I think we're just trying to figure out right now. They're trying to figure out what's going on. I don't think the pitch deck was put back, and they're just probably confirming that with each other.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, the
Something.
life lead. We are still 20 minutes into this game. Life totals are still high.
Hmm. And that's kind of what we expect to see. Like, I don't know if you watched a lot of the Japanese nationals or something, but these assassin mirrors go long.
They go a long time. They go a long time. Or at an armory, we were like, oh, the finals was an assassin mirror, and we are all like, okay, we'll go get dinner and come back when it's done. See who won. Like, let us know who won now. Like,
So here we have another stealth card. I can't remember which one this is. And
that is a persuasive prognosis, which is you banish the top card on hit, look at the hand, and banish the same color to
mm,
gain. And you gain a life when this banishes an action card. So I think that applies to even off news ability, but it doesn't seem like um
we are getting our first transcend
Yep.
of the game. That's what these Mystic Heroes do. And we're looking at this Banish Zone, and Amelia notably put a blue card into their last turn. And we're not going to be using the new ability, we're going to be using the secret hidden new ability of Use My Headpiece. This
Oh, oh,
is a
sorry,
super.
my cat just jumped on me.
Your cat wants in on this new action.
Yeah, yeah. That scary little hat though is really good.
Oh, that's a scary little hat, all right.
It's really scary.
It's so scary, and it's gotten to leave no witnesses from Ashlin's hand. How good! I hate having it used against me, but if I'm in the news position, I'm super happy that I have access to a card like the scary little mask here. Just because Ashelin didn't really choose to defend on anything that turn, you really want to take cards out of hand. Of course, there was that sink blow following it up, so you're kind of okay with it. You got 2 cards in that turn, and we are coming in with a Beckoning Mistblade, 1 resource available, a card in arsenal, and a card in hand. With a 2 life point lead, both tunics are available on this turn.
It's like we're just gonna take it from Amelia. Say, keep it coming. Let's see what we've got after this. Oh, and this feels familiar.
Mm-hmm. This one, however, is coming in for 2, not 1. A little bit of anything you can do, I can do better kind of action going on here.
With go again.
And the select card in hand as well. Like, we have 1 resource floating and 1 tunic available to us. This could be something like a Command and Conquer. Or looking at Ashlin's list, it could also be something like a Amnesia. And we're just showing full maximum respect here to the reactions. We are going unmovable from Arsenal. And this is Siren's Call, I think. That's the name of the card.
Yes.
This does a pretty good impression of being the scary little mask. Oh, that's a path well traveled that's being blocked with forcefully as the only blue in hand. And of course, when you defend with the blue on Siren's Call, you draw a card as well. Oh, sorry. Just playing the path well traveled in response to make sure that she doesn't get the card draw. Smart heads up play by Amelia there.
Oh. Oh.
And here we are back and forth with the same cards once again. Ashelin banishes
Yep.
her Leave No Witnesses. Amelia plays her Leave No Witnesses. There's no arsenal for Amelia to hit with this Leave No Witnesses, but it's kind of nice to have it in the graveyard for her own codices to come out later on. And this is one of the cards in the deck that can produce tokens, silver tokens, for the Black Tech Whisperers.
Yep, I was about to say that's pretty important for the Black Tech Whispers. I was also going to say with that persuasive prognosis having go again, I'm sure that Ashlyn was a little disappointed, and Amelia was probably a little bit happy that the Leave No Witnesses got banished a turn prior, so Ashlyn didn't have access to it.
Yes. That scary little mask doing scary little things.
Yep. Looking for a scrap. I love this card, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I drafted Outsiders this past weekend at Armory, and I just got to play this card, and I was like, man, I like this card. This card makes me happy.
Does the term scrap mean anything to you? Like outside of
I
a
just think of like a scrapyard, like
cool.
junkyard, like cars, pieces of cars.
So
That's what I think.
Flesh and Blood is a famously New Zealand made game at this point, right? Like everyone knows that Flesh and Blood is made in New Zealand.
Wait,
And
this game's from New Zealand?
yeah. Also, I'm
Whoa.
vegan. Did you know?
No. I'm learning so much. I'm sorry. Anyway, continue.
So, a scrap is colloquial New Zealand language for a fight. Like, if you want
Oh,
to,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, if you want to like fight someone out back or something, you want to scrap them. And therefore, the phrase "looking for a scrap" in New Zealand means you're looking to fight someone.
I've heard it used that way, but like that feels like it doesn't feel like like modern, like how we would talk modernly here. But like, oh,
Mm.
they got into a scrap,
Yeah,
something that like maybe someone would say, but
yeah,
looking for a fight. I've come to fight. Oh
yeah.
my
No, if it was come to fight, it would defend for three and not
yeah.
two. So we have a double transcend going on here. We had just in the background
Just
to
to get back to the game.
that was the fancy transcend card, the Sacred Art Undercurrent Desires. And I've just noticed now that only Amelia has the Undercurrent Desires in her list. So I'm going to quickly look it up because that is a spicy one to be seeing.
Oh, undercurrent desires is you if you what is it? If you've played another blue card this turn, you can do like all three, which is create a Fang Strike, banish 2 cards from your opponent's graveyard, and transcend.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think if you haven't played another blue, you just get to get one of them. I believe that's
Yes.
how it works.
Yeah. Yeah. Like all of the Sacred Arts, they are um, they become super powerful when you play a blue card. And an easy way to play a blue card in this matchup is to activate your hero ability, which I've seen. Amelia, having 2 Transcend cards available to her, can use Nu's ability to guarantee that she gets a blue card from Ashelin. And is coming at Ashelin with her own copy of Bonds of Agony. And
That
the under. Oh, so I made a mistake, I think. Oh no,
what happened?
I didn't make a
What?
mistake, sorry. I forgot that the Sacred Art had already transcended, so we've already used all 3 modes because she did the double transcending action
Right.
kind of thing. And we get the scary little mask
Oh,
activation too.
scary mask. I love how this is being played out. I mean, it's makes the most sense, but just watching it, like Ashlin's just attacking herself on this.
Yeah.
Got the reactions on top. I've never thought about how this would work playing over a webcam, but I kind of love this. I don't know why. That all you got?
That's super powerful.
Yeah.
And I believe that's an Oasis Respite, but it looks a lot nicer than my ones.
Oh, it's a fancy
Yes.
one. It's
Or rather,
beautiful.
it looks different to my ones. I do like the art on Oasis Respite, and I respect it. But this one has more art
Oh.
on it.
It's okay. I wasn't. No one was accusing you of not liking the art of Oasis Respite. It's all right.
And Ashlyn successfully stopped herself from punching herself. How good. But is only left
This
with one card in hand.
uh, did have go again. So now she's going to punch herself again
Mm-hmm.
with the Bonds of Attraction.
Oh. If you were to visualize this fight, it's kind of funny to
It's
imagine
real.
this.
It's That's why I love it. I'm like, this is kind of funny. Um, we're gonna that bond's going back into the banish zone
Oh,
immediately from the bond's attraction. That's really good.
that's super powerful. We're kind of seeing, yeah, like these playstyles are again very different. Like Ashlyn is trying to go for this more aggressive route, trying to apply this pressure. Here's Leave No Witnesses, a fantastic 1 card hand, and Amelia is really trying to just fatigue Ashlyn out. Just
Yeah.
honestly, like the banish zones and graveyards are kind of an indicator of how many cards are kind of going through. I guess. And each of these like incidental stealth cards hitting just kind of get Ashelin closer to getting fatigued. We get a nice respectable 2-card block there. 2-card defend. And this is the
Persuasive prognosis.
I was
For
just
like
like
the fifth time.
I'm slowly learning. I was like the prognostic prognosis. I'm like, no, that's the same word twice. that's not that's not what it's called.
Uh,
The persuasive prognosis. And we might be getting some reactions happening over here. Amelia pump faking that tunic before going back to her hand. Um, but the arm piece has been defended with, is ready to be used for multiple reactions if need be.
yeah, I think that this is when maybe you need to start being like taking one damage here is, it's not a whole lot of damage. However, that you're gonna get two cards back into the banish zone, which whether Amelia gets a chance to play those cards against you again, I don't think matters at this point. As you kind of mentioned, it seems like Amelia is really trying to potentially fatigue Ashlyn. And so cards like persuasive prognosis, which banish multiple cards at once, maybe Ashlyn is going to have to become a little more weary of as this game goes on.
Mm-hmm. And that
Oh, we've got a bonds of attraction.
that persuasive prognosis bringing the life totals back to an even 31-31. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of more so focused on the action at hand, I kind of forgot about the life totals, and I didn't realize the gaps kind of closed back, which is really nice for Amelia to
Yeah.
be playing this fatigue
Well,
strategy and not having to worry about your life total so much. And we're getting a scary little mask on Ashlin's side here, and it's going to banish a
very
Siren's Call. And after defending with a hiss, if you're Ashlyn, you have to be happy to be able to get 2 cards out of your opponent's hand here. Oh, we're still
we're
going. We're double transcending again. I feel like we're gonna get more
we're
more scary little mask action. So you have Rising Sun, Setting Moon, which is the draw a card, put a card on the bottom. Um, no, I'm lying. It's not that one. Oh no, it is that one. And we're getting a Preserved
um
Tradition as well, which puts a card on the bottom.
oh,
And
yep.
we're doing it in this order so that the chi is in hand, just in case Amelia chooses to put the chi on the bottom of the deck rather than the card drawn.
You're so
Although,
smart, Kiki.
that being said, I feel like the chi is not the option here because she's picking it up. I was gonna say she's left it on the table, making it very clear she's not putting chi on the bottom. But no, she picks it up just in case, just in case. It's these
Well,
little edges.
right. It's the also I think hiding information from Ashlyn and be like, you know,
Yeah.
am I gonna put the chi on the bottom? Did I put the chi on the bottom? Did I not put the chi on the bottom?
No, I feel like Amelia really wants to do the new activation, scary little mask activation kind of turn. And this is Eradicate, I believe.
Yeah, yes. It is an eradicate.
So, for those who don't know what Eradicate does, myself included, this is
It is
a.
looking for it's looking for yellow cards to banish, and it banishes X amount of cards from the top of the deck, I believe, where X is the amount of damage built dealt off of Eradicate.
Mhm.
And Eradicate comes in for
4.
4.
This is one of the ones that I'm actually more familiar with now that I remember. Only on the basis that I'm a Prism player and I have lost 4 cards to this card before.
Well, it's pretty good at the prism as it's the contract is yellow cards. Speaking of contract, this is also another card where Amelia could potentially make some silver for those black tech whispers.
Yes, that's a good point. Now, unfortunately, earlier in the game, Amelia stripped 3 yellow cards from Ashlin's deck, which is 33% of the yellows potentially in Ashlin's deck. Actually, she lost a That All You Got as well. So this
Yep.
Eradicate not likely to actually provide too many, but if you get one, you're pretty happy with it. Oh,
Oh,
there's an
there's a yellow though. But the scary hat also got a command and conquer, and
that
the Oasis respite, right?
respite.
I don't even know anymore. Okay,
I
cool.
I think
Is gonna cover up the 4 damage. Oasis respite.
yes, there's an E at the end of that word. It's like yes, I have to
Yeah.
assume. Um, oh, and again, this is the is
Art of
this.
Desire Mind.
Oh, I was gonna say, is this one Desires of Flesh? No, I'm just really bad at
No,
knowing
no.
these cards.
No, that's the Art of Desire's mind.
Okay, and that is a path well traveled. So we
I'm giving
have
it go again.
another chi. It has go again, but most importantly, we're activating the scary little hat.
Gosh, these scary little hats get a lot of use, which is pretty scary. Like,
Mm.
uh, it's not until you play against a new until that you realize just how much the scary little hat gets so much use. I
So like you just don't realize just how scary this little hat is until.
How scary is this hat? Well, I play warrior, and so I'm like, oh, New doesn't want to use my cards anyway. Like
Mhm.
this matchup can't be that bad. But the scary little hat, I'm like, the scary little hat is enough to make this matchup scary.
It's just one of the
I have been
things.
traumatized by this scary little hat.
One of the things New does really well is force cards out of your opponent's hand without them blocking. Like a lot of the time, you'll want to have these sort of. You'll just want to take damage from New if you're like, yeah, this one's not a threat. I can take this one. There might be a banish, sure, that's fine. And then they activate their scary little hat, and he's like, well, now my plan is gone. Like, I thought I had this agency of
Yeah.
not blocking, and now I'm forced to lose cards anyway. Um, and we've seen a lot of activations, especially on Amelia's side. I haven't specifically counted, but I think it's something like 3 or 4 activations to 1. So that's a huge difference in terms of like that's almost a hand's worth of your deck. That's
Yeah.
getting you closer to fatiguing.
We should also probably mention that Art of Desire Mind banished the Bonds of Agony off the top of Amelia's deck, which is a blue card.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty, I'm sure Ashelin is happy to see that
Mm.
now in the banish zone because it is playable.
And
Maybe we'll see Amelia punch herself like Ashlyn had to do.
perhaps. And Ashton's making the same play that Amelia did on, or not the exact same play, but a similar play where Ashlyn is going to lose a card from hand, so instead she's just going to play the Transcend card, even though it doesn't Transcend. And we're revealing no blues here for the Siren's Call to force the block. Well, it's going to force the block, but it's not going to draw a card, which is kind of big here. And
Yep. I believe that's a preserve tradition. The Transcend card that we saw. And
I'm trying to figure out what this defending card is.
it's another Art of Desire Mind. It's
Oh wait, no,
just,
that is a blue. Okay, never mind.
yeah, it is a blue. Yeah, because the Siren's Call forces the block
Yeah,
um, from the Art of Desire Mind.
I just assumed the
So
preserved
Amelia
tradition.
does get to draw.
Mm.
Amelia does get to draw a card here.
I assumed the preserved tradition was to kind of prevent the blues. But I guess you just want to use it to put that command and conquer. I think she put on the bottom of her deck. And here's a codices. No, there's a codex, a singular codex of frailty.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think if Ashland's slightly worried about getting fatigued, then just getting the preserve tradition
mm,
played, get something back in your deck, and not have to put it on the chain is probably a good idea.
for sure. And here, yes, we've just seen the card that's been considered the most powerful card in Flesh and Blood. resolve that is a Codex of Frailty, getting back and leave no witnesses for a super powerful one card hand. Um,
Yeah.
Getting another respectable 2 card block here, but of course, there's a Frailty token on the Ashelin side, so those weapons aren't coming in for anything relevant next turn, and there's a Ponder on Amelia's side to refill that Arsenal slot. Based on how this game's gone, I'm sure Amelia would have loved to have another blue to transcend her transcend card to activate the scary little hat, but it's okay. It's still in the deck, and it's been paired with an
Not
unmovable as well. So down the line, if we get to the bottom of her deck, we could see an unmovable coming out.
to point out that I said at the 20-minute mark, I think the life totals were like 29:31 or something like that. This is now we're what 40 minutes into this game and the life totals are 30:31. So this really is, like we said at the beginning, the battle of the inches. So much push and pull here.
And Amelia is pushing both weapons into the combat chain and trying to pull 2 life points from her opponent. There we go. And here we have the
What
persuasive prognosis.
Yeah.
Not the prognostic prognosis.
At work today I was sitting there and I was just saying run roughshod, run roughshod, run roughshod. I was trying to say that card,
Run
so
roughshod.
I understand. Run roughshod, run roughshod. I can't. It's like so. It's such a hard thing for me to say. Like there are just certain words out there that I really can't say. I guess my Louisiana accent presents itself in some way because it run roughshod. Like what is it? Jail sale. I can't say that one. Just random words.
Like,
Run Roughshod
was that like
is one of them.
was that like jail cell? Like
Jail sale.
like
Jail sale.
like a prison cell? Is that what the phrase
Yes.
I see?
Oh,
And
another yellow card.
not only is it a yellow
Not
card,
where it's.
I think a special couple of people were the ones who spoiled that one.
Yes, that is the Pitch Perfect spoiler card, Prismatic Leyline. A
Mm-hmm.
beautiful card. Oh, leave no witness.
And super threatening once again. This is just a tiny command and conquer. And it's hitting. We might get some silver tokens. Red. Red. Oh my goodness. Those are 2 silver tokens.
Wow.
And Amelia is so ready to get those Black Tech Whisperers back.
Amelia is rich, and I'm sure we will see her spend all her money soon.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. I wouldn't know what that's like. I have never owned 2 silver tokens in my life. Those are riches beyond my dreams.
You think she'll share?
Maybe. Maybe she'll shop me lunch. Who knows?
Yes. Amelia, will you be at Worlds? I'm joking. So we've got a Bonds of Agony coming in from Ashlin's side.
I'm sure
I feel like this is the card. We've seen this card like a million times. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It never runs out. These cards keep circling back.
Yeah, no, it just keeps on bringing up the past. This Bonds is surely not suspicious, right? There was
Toxic.
3 cards available to Ashelin here. Like, surely this Bonds isn't suspicious. There's nothing going on here, nothing to see. Oh, we do have a Transcend card here.
Yeah, a Passover. So we'll get a banish from Amelia's graveyard.
Mm-hmm. And, you know what I'm excited about, this being a Transcend card, is that this gives her access to another reaction. Oh, is that the Whispers?
Oh my gosh, yeah,
Oh,
she banished the whispers right when we were. Ah, Amelia just got rich, too.
she just got
Ooh.
rich, and now we're seeing the scary little head activation from that. And okay, so is that all three reactions? No, that's two reactions. That's a Fang strike. There we go. There's the third reaction. And this Bonds of Agony is suddenly a massive. Never mind, there's a defense reaction.
Agonizing.
There's a defense reaction, that's fine.
Ooh,
Oh,
goodness, what a turn, what a play.
I'm still really sad
And
about
the
the Blackjack
arsenal.
Whisperers. I was excited for that to come back.
The black yeah, the black tech whispers, the scary hat. I mean, wow. Yeah, we were just talking about the blast tech. Well, you know what, Amelia? Now Amelia can buy you lunch with those silver tokens because we're not seeing them spent. All right, we've got a bonds of attraction. And that all you got
That's
after what
so.
I just did? That's all you got?
That's so good. So rude. That discard pile is looking hefty, as is the banner zone, and that deck is not keeping up. It's doing the opposite. It is
Yeah.
dwindling. That discard pile is noticeably large. But yeah, no, that all you got is super disrespectful, and I love it. Just the name of it
Super.
alone.
And there's that prismatic ley line again.
What is the Easter coming in for? I presume it is draw a card. +3. Oh, sorry, go again, rather. +1.
I
The
would
blues get
think
+3.
it's
Oh, what's this one?
so it was draw a card and go again, I believe.
I think it was just go again, no draw a card. It got the +1 from the prismatic ley line, and then this blue's coming in for 4 because of the prismatic ley line. Look at your little spoiler go. Your little spoiler is worth 4 points of value there. How good.
Look at that.
I just really wished that she had a yellow attack to play as well. Just to really get the full value off it.
I miss what that blue card was.
While you're trying to find that, there's a Spider's Bite in play and a Siren's Call. I believe this is the third Siren's Call from Amelia's side.
It looks like there are multiple blues. We're gonna play a nice little stir the pot. Such an adorable marvel. Love it. And we just yeah, that deck is looking really thin as we see the shuffle happen.
We just want to put
Ooh.
that Command and Conquer closer to the top. Okay, so that's
Is that
the.
Rowdy Locals? Is that Rowdy Locals? I believe.
Was that in her list? Did I miss that entirely? Oh, there was Rowdy Locals on the list, or there is. There was the Persuasive Prognosis.
There you go.
And
Yeah.
here we have the Leave No Witnesses. The silver token no longer providing too much of a threat. I mean, you can pitch to draw a card, which isn't the worst. You know, this deck is very blue heavy, so you don't mind pitching a blue to kind of draw another card. But Leave No Witnesses forcing cards out of Ashlin's deck size, whether it be by banishing the arsenal or by taking 2 cards, is kind of backbreaking when you're looking at maybe being fatigued.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember how many times we've seen um Ashlyn transcend
I think twice. I think literally both times
twice.
she's used her scary little hat have been the only transcends. I don't recall seeing any otherwise.
Yep. So there still are two cheese in the deck then.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially, I mean,
And there have
even
been.
with the deck wearing thin and Amelia getting a lot of banishes, could still potentially see a scary new activation from Ashlin's side with Cheese left in the deck.
Oh.
Bonds of Attraction blocked by a Venomous Bite.
Just a simple turn there. And we are looking for a scrap. Amelia trying to put the damage through. In all of this hullabaloo that's happened, Ashton's life total's at 20. We're actually getting to the point where I guess Ashton can't afford to block everything anymore like she was at the start. And now this damage is starting to creep in, and like this late game is kind of where these assassin decks kind of tend to shine. They force you to block and still force damage through. 5 damage with Go Again and a Command and Conquer.
Yep.
No assassin cards here.
Looking for a.
Right.
Sorry, I was just gonna say that looking for a scrap. Something that we didn't talk about last time we saw it played was that to give it the +1 and the Go Again, you need to banish a attack with one attack base or less from your graveyard. And a lot of the time for new, when you're playing a new mirror, those are blue stealth cards. Like we just saw a Bonds of Attraction banished, just to play that looking for a scrap. There's some kind of push and pull with looking for a scrap when you're playing it in a new mirror, because those are cards you don't necessarily
No,
want
that's
in
a
your
super
banish
good
zone.
point. I
Yeah.
guess you're kind of hoping with these looking for scraps that you're pushing enough damage through that maybe your opponent doesn't have the time to activate No. Um, like we haven't seen Ashelin attempt to activate No yet. So she being Amelia in this case maybe okay with banishing it there. But you're right, there's definitely a cost to it. That sounds obvious. It's literally an additional cost. But there's definitely a potential cost down the line that you may have to deal with if you don't close out the game. So here we have the bonds of. Nope.
Nope.
Is this that? This is.
It's your favorite. It's your
Ah,
favorite card.
goodness.
Persuasive Prognosis.
Mm. Yeah, there's a persuasive prognosis. Amelia asking for a quick graveyard/banish check to kind of figure out how many reactions she may have to play around here. Um, Perhaps specifically just a Nick, but I don't think there are any left in the deck. And there's a respectful block for 3.
Yeah.
Rising Sun, Setting Moon.
Draw a card, bottom a card,
And get
and
a Chi.
Ashelin could transcend.
Hmm. This could be a pretty powerful turn for Ashelin. I don't know if it.
Yeah. If we see a new
Hmm.
activation here potentially, or perhaps the hat.
Scary little hat. And the scary little hat getting a Codex of Frailty there. And then here we have a Hiss.
Yeah, there's the Go Again. But the cheese already been used for the scary hat.
Mm-hmm. Amelia just really not wanting that to hit. Defends with the defense reaction, and we are at 24-10. Ashlyn gaining 1 point of life through that interaction due to the banishes. But There is, I want to say, a hand left in that deck after this.
Yeah, it's close.
It
It's
is.
really thin.
Yeah. Ashlin's new is getting real tired, whereas Amelia's new has all of the energy in the world. Stir the pot being pitched there. The Spider's Bite coming in for 1. And this is why Amelia didn't mind banishing a codex, because there is another codex. There's 1 resource remaining, but that tunic is live. This Command and Conquer going to come in for 6. There's a Frailty, there's a Ponder token, a whole bunch of good stuff if you're Amelia, and not if you're Ashelin.
I mean, what a turn. Amelia was able to block out the persuasive prognosis from the last turn and then still come back with such a
Mm-hmm.
powerful turn here.
And that is the power of the Codex of Frailty. Functionally giving you so many things to work with. That Ponder token is absolutely massive. Just
Yeah.
to kind of replace the Codex, the Frailty token stopping the weapons from happening. Getting your choice of attack is super big. You've just dealt 66.67% of your opponent's life total.
Wow, with the look at that quick fast mass. And we're going to
Mm-hmm.
lose the slither from Ashlin's
Yeah.
arsenal, preventing the go again, which is a little bit difficult to go wide when the frailty's making those beckoning mistblades.
Yeah.
Just
You cannot
nothing.
gain the go again to your blue attacks because these Beckoning Mistblades will attack for an absolutely whopping 0 damage. And here we have a Command and Conquer. Command and Conquer, I don't believe has any way to have go again, but thankfully, because of the beautiful, beautiful marvels in Tales, not Tales, in part the Mistveil, we know that there is a Chi in Ashton's hand, and also I think that's the Codex of Bloodrot as well. So that Codex of Bloodrot's probably going to hit the Arsenal zone, I have to guess, because of no
Yeah.
um, go again. But Scary Little Hat's going to do scary little things, and that's a blue stealth card that was banished to it as well, so that's another potential new activation.
Yep. Blue, I think that is a pick to
Yes.
pieces.
Looking at it more closely, I agree, and that art terrifies me. Not only because I'm bad with gore, but also because I leaned Enigma real heavily in the limited format, and that card ruined my day.
Yep, that is some
Mm-hmm.
Enigma tech in
Um,
limited.
am I mistaken, or does Ashlyn have 1 card in deck?
I was just trying to figure that out. It might be 2 cards.
Right.
It kind of looks
But
like
that
there's more than
deck's
one
up.
card.
No, it looked
It's not
awfully empty.
many. It looks like Amelia's asking like, "Hey, what do you got that you could punch yourself with again?"
Yes.
If I decided to make you do that.
Your deck's looking pretty thin. Let me play some cards for you. Just kind of, yeah.
Just help a girl
Yeah,
out.
let's let you play the game a little bit more. You can play these attacks. Just have them directed towards you. That's all I ask.
I'll just yeah, I'll let you play them, just not
I,
against me.
I can't even reach through the screen to grab your cards. You can literally play them on my behalf.
On your playmat.
So here we have the Beckoning Misblade. Um, we're getting to the point where the on hits are kind of becoming death.
Yeah.
And there's a
A
tunic block with
tunic
3
lock.
counters. Is she going to activate the tunic and bluff something? Do we have
Do it,
a
do it.
scary little hat activation? That might be the question here as well. Do you activate your scary little hat, or do you activate your leader ability, hero ability? Sorry, wrong guy. Or neither. How about we just come in with an art of desire mind,
Art of Desire Mind. Yes. Art of Desire Mind.
and at this point, I don't think the life gain is relevant. Yeah, this is just I want to take cards from you, and if you don't block this, I'm going to take cards from your deck. And either way, I'm taking cards from you. Now, if there was a Transcend card here, Transcend card into the head activation would be backbreaking.
Yeah, that would be really good.
Speaking of, there goes the scary little hat, and here comes the scary little hat. We didn't
We
even need
love
the
a scary
Transcend
little
card,
hat.
we just had the Chi at this point. And there goes the Chi.
I think it's smart to open with the
Mm-hmm.
Beckoning Mistblade there. Like perhaps if the Beckoning Blissblade would have hit, and that Art of Desire Mind would have had the go again, then possibly the
Mm.
Chi would just be used to activate new. But since the Art of Desire Mind didn't have go
We're
again,
just gonna hat. Scary hat.
we're just gonna hat. Scary hat. Very scary hat.
And here's the Codex of Bloodrot. There's no card in Arsenal, so both players are going to be affected by this. There's a Bloodrot token on Amelia's side, physically on Ashlin's side, but spiritually on Amelia's side, and a Ponder token for Ashelin as well. And we have another Chi, and I think that's a Justinek.
I think it's just a Nick, yeah. From
Mm-hmm. And here we're getting the Banish Zone check to find all your blues. And there's a fair amount of blues in Amelia's Banish Zone. It's almost like it's entirely blue, which I guess is kind of to be expected. Ashlyn hasn't been really banishing cards from Amelia's side. It's mostly just been a self kind of banish to other effects. Oh, there's a Chi on top that's disappearing to the new activation. And then we have
like Amelia's going to punch herself with the bonds of attraction.
and it's getting that's just a nick. It's just a
Just an egg.
singular nick for +5 damage on those bonds of attraction.
Plus 5 damage. Um, and
Oh.
it's the chi. All the chi.
Mm-hmm. So that new activation removing a Chi. And oh, we're just we don't even need the hat
Oh
anymore.
my goodness. I said, oh, that's
Mm-hmm. And
Ashland's deck.
Amelia.
Take the Just an Egg and banish the talk from the Just an Egg as
Mm-hmm.
well, because it is a stealth card. And then also the Bonds banish off the top. And then the Bonds banish from the graveyard as
This
well.
is a super impressive
I think the pick to pieces was the Bonds banish. So looking for
Ooh.
and Ashlyn Gets to gain a
That was a
life.
super impressive turn from Ashelin, but also it kind of
That ponder token, I wonder what we draw up.
actual nothing. And we know that there is only a chi in Ashlin's hand.
Persuasive prognosis. Ashlyn has just the chi in hand and then the arsenal card.
There's a activation of no. As the only real action Ashlyn can take at this point. Oh, did they just point out the Blood Rot token? Yeah. So they corrected the life totals for that Blood Rot token from the previous turn. And we're just getting a cheeky one card block here. Amelia with 3 cards in hand. I have to assume if this turn's not lethal, it's functionally lethal. We know that Ashlyn has no cards to defend with here. Here's a here's a Spider's Bite, just in case there's an attack action for Ashlyn to block with it in hand. We know there isn't. Here is the Beckoning Mistblade coming in for another 1 point of damage, and here is Blanche, 7 damage. Oh, cool. Well, that was the end of the game. 7 damage. Thank you very much for joining us here at the Rainbow Pitch League Swiss portion. We will see you in the upcoming weeks for our top 8. Thank you very much, and goodbye.